Good afternoon, evening. Welcome, everybody. I am Dr. Mackenzie Cooledge from Thrive Family Chiropractic. And this evening, I have the wonderful Cindy Douglas from doTerra with us. And we're going to get into a little bit more about doTerra oils and how utilizing them in your home can not only remove toxins from your life, but help you with other things that could be putting stressors on yourself, such as emotions. And that's going to be the big thing that we talk about tonight. There are three things that chiropractors focus on that cause subluxations. One of them is physical traumas. The other one is toxins within our life. And the other one is emotional stressors. And so we're going to be covering two of those things, predominantly the emotions, but how utilizing non-toxic natural products can help you not only not expose yourself to different chemicals and having that implemented into your body, but ease your system and bring emotional ease into your system as well. So you're not always relying on chiropractic care, and you can prevent subluxations and further stressors in your life in the future. So let's welcome Cindy. Cindy, let's hear a little from you.
Okay, so thank you for that, Dr. Mackenzie. So as Dr. Mackenzie said, I am a wellness advocate with doTerra essential oils. I have lots of people ask me, why doTerra? What makes doTerra different than the essential oils that they find in, the big box store or the health food store? Why doTerra? So there are main reasons why doTerra, and they are, doTerra is a company that believes in quality and integrity. So the quality of the oils are grown in their indigenous environments. So chemically, they're the most potent available to that particular plant. For example, I can grow lavender in my backyard in New Hampshire, but it's not indigenous to New Hampshire. So chemically, it's not as potent and strong as it would be in its native place, like Bulgaria, where it is harvested. So chemically, they're very pure. Also, because we agree to partner with farmers who have been doing this for a long time, they use no synthetics. They use nothing in the soil, like in terms of pesticides or things like that. So there's no fillers, no synthetics, no pesticides. What you're getting out of your bottle of oil is just oil. There's nothing else in there. It's pure, unadulterated oil. And the other reason for doTerra, like I said, they're a company of integrity, and so they really look to sustainably harvest a lot of the plants and trees that they harvest. We actually just took white fir out of the line because it wasn't being able to be sustainably harvested. And a lot of people are very sad about that, but at the same time, it's really nice to see a company that really stands behind, this is what we're saying, we're sustainably harvesting, and this is what we believe in. As I mentioned, the farmers that they use are farmers also from lots of times remote villages and places that are poverty stricken. So we actually create this beautiful environment with them where it's a symbiotic relationship, and they gain from us and we gain from them. So it's a beautiful sort of marriage, if you will. So that's why doTerra. That's no-brainer for me.
Yeah, I can understand that. And I love the fact that it's pure. And I completely understand the whole process of that. If it's coming from where it was indigenously grown, it's going to have all the properties that you're looking for. So if you're looking for somebody who might be in another company who might be growing this out of their backyard, the soil is going to be different. The air quality is going to be different. Everything that plant or wherever it's coming from is exposed to is going to be different from what its indigenous roots are. And if we hearken back to when oils were originally used, they were using what they had to gather from their immediate area. And they weren't able to have the resources of being able to pull it from other spots or be able to grow it because they didn't even know it existed. So that is when they were the most beneficial, is when it was true to form. And so doTerra understands that, and that's why doTerra is able to go out and grab those things and make sure that it's sustainable to do so. And I love the way you said symbiotic relationship. That's beautiful, because it's true. If they're able to bring commerce into the area, then it is a give and take, and it is a good, marriage for both companies. So I love that. So Let's dig into a little bit more about our topic tonight. So I guess the first question I have for you is, what types of emotional stressors do you find to be the most apparent for people that you work with? Now, I know people that come into my clinic typically talk about not being able to sleep well, which causes stress in their life, maybe financial things or other anxieties or depressions. What are some of the things that you find people come to you for when it comes to their emotions?
Sure, pretty similar. I think everybody's stressed, and that's such a huge word, and I think it encompasses so many feelings and emotions, and different feelings and emotions depending on what that looks like or feels like to you. But I hear that a lot. I hear sleeplessness, or maybe not even sleeplessness, just like I fall asleep and then I wake up, or I sleep for 2 hours at a time. Those things we know are not good for our bodies. Our bodies need rest. We need to repair ourselves. So I hear that a lot. I also hear just, family constraints, money constraints, time constraints. I've got 3 kids at home and I'm working a full-time job, and oh my gosh, I'm tearing my hair out at the end of the day. So there's a lot of stress involved with just time and energy to deal with that sort of thing. And lastly, really just sadness and sort of, I don't want to label it in any term for anybody, but just sadness, maybe it's grief because they've lost a loved one, or maybe it's just, the day-to-day stuff has just piled on and they're at their wit's end. But there's a lot of, I think those are the 3 majors that I get a lot from people.
I agree. And so what would be, if somebody was to come to you, what would be your maybe top 5 oils that you would probably say, okay, so we have sadness and we have, it's having trouble with our sleeping habits. And yeah, I just kind of feel overwhelmed and I just feel like I can't calm down. What would be your suggestion?
So initially what I would suggest is the emotional therapy kit. So these are touch rollers. So if you don't know what a touch roller is, it's the oil, and then it literally has a ball on it and you just roll it on your skin. It's already pre-diluted with fractionated coconut oil. So these are kind of nice if you're a little afraid, you haven't used essential oils before, you don't know how to mix them, to dilute them. These are really good for that particular case. The emotions blends, so there's 6 of them, also come in 5 milliliter bottles. So this is just the oil. So this gives you the option to put it in your diffuser if that's what you might want to do. A lot of people might use them in their diffusers, gets them into the air. Maybe they hadn't thought of putting them on their skin, or maybe they're a little apprehensive. There's a lot to learn with essential oils, and it takes people a long time to just kind of feel comfortable in what speaks to them. So initially, I think I would start there, but some of the oils that I would recommend for like a calming oil, your calming oils, I have a couple that I would recommend. They're things like lavender, ylang ylang, Roman chamomile. Any of your wood oils, those are like your frankincense, your cedar wood, your vetiver. So those are all have calming properties. And I think, originally or most frequently people go for the lavender because they know lavender soothing. I think that's, lavender is one of those, I always joke that it's the gateway oil. I think a lot of people know lavender and so they're comfortable with it. But there are a lot of great ones, and you wouldn't necessarily, I never knew that the wood oils would help me calm down, but boy, if I put cedar wood in my diffuser, woo, I'm good down for the count. So it's interesting and, fun to kind of learn about that. In terms of the uplifting oils, so if you're sort of feeling down and out or maybe a little unmotivated or something, those are your citrus oils. Think about it. Lemons, your oranges, anything, like anytime you sniff one of those, I don't know about you, but I'm like, wow, that's just like a pop to the sense. Yeah. Citrus, peppermint, those kinds of oils is what I would recommend for sort of that uplifting feel.
Now, you were talking a little bit more about the chemistry of, the fact that being that it's indigenous, the chemistry actually is a lot more pure. And so what do you find from those particular brands or particular oils that you said? What is it about them? What's the chemistry behind that a little bit that maybe helps make those a little bit more balancing or calming or uplifting in comparison to something else?
Sure. So without getting into the whole chemistry lesson here, and for those of you that don't know me, I love to dig in the science. So I've dug a little in the science. Yeah, I know, right? It's preaching to the choir here. So the reason why the uplifting oils sort of work, if you will, is that they're really high content in monoterpenes. So if you don't know chemistry, I'm not going to do like the chemistry lesson, but they're very high value in monoterpenes, which is really helpful in uplifting the spirit and uplifting the emotion. Let me back up for a second, and we might touch upon this briefly, but the reason why essential oils are so great in terms of when you sniff it, open the bottle and sniff it, is because it goes right into the olfactory system. Yeah. And the olfactory and the limbic system, which is the system that's in charge of your emotions and your emotional responses, are connected. So there's a gateway there. Yeah. So you breathe it in, and all of a sudden you have an emotional response, whatever that might be for you.
And it hooks straight back. So it's the first cranial nerve, I'll just go into a little bit of the neurology of it. It is the first cranial nerve that comes through our system, and it's actually directly, like if you were to go straight behind the eyes, it literally is right there, and it actually touches the brain. It follows the brain all the way back to the limbic system, as she was saying, and that is what controls our memory as well as emotions too. So a lot of the times, if you were to have maybe something very happy go on in your life, and you hook on to that smell. And so that's why sometimes these things are a little bit more unique to the person when it comes to utilizing these oils, because I know personally pine, the smell of pine really uplifts me. And that's not necessarily chemistry based. That's just something that for me personally, it reminds me of the holidays. It reminds me of being really cozy and having some hot chocolate or some hot apple cider. And so I know that that scent, whenever I have a scent that's more of that balsam fir or, you know, just woody scent, I really do like the cedar is definitely more uplifting for me and focusing for me. So I do like those. But, you know, on the contrary, somebody else might not have the same effect, even though it's supposed to. So lavender may be calming for you, but if you had a negative experience with that scent in the air at the same time, you might even subconsciously go back to that, and it might not be utilized the same way. So a lot of people, if you're looking at the gateway oil as lavender, and it's not working for you the way that it works for other people, that could just simply be what happened. Something could have happened way back in your childhood that you've suppressed, and that scent was around, and you're just like, no, it doesn't do that for me. And so that's why it's great to kind of work into other blends or other options that are available to you in order for you to be able to have that calm down, because something will work. There is some science and some chemistry behind it. It's just about really finding what's fit for you. And doTerra has a long line of products that can do that for you. So that's great. So I think the last question that I have for you is, I know personally, I have 2 kids, and one of the biggest stressors that I found was during and after pregnancy. There's a lot of stress involved in that. You know, if you don't know if you can hear, but my youngest is not necessarily in a happy mood right now. Dad's got him contained, but there's a lot of stress that kind of goes on for that. And so what I'd like to know is whether or not this is actually safer during and after pregnancy, and how that could help.
Sure. So, yep, essential oils. Now, clearly, like everything, not all essential oils are recommended during pregnancy, just like not all essential oils are recommended for little guys that are, you know, younger than 2. But I do have some really great resources. One of them is Stephanie Fritz. She's actually a midwife, and she's used doTerra and essential oils in her practice for a long, long time. And she has this great book. It's called Essential Oils for Pregnancy, Birth, and Babies. And there's lots of information in there that really help to support the mamas, not only during their pregnancy, but also doing things like making tissues sort of ready, if you will, for baby's delivery, and sort of really letting the body work naturally. Like, how do we prepare for that? How do we get our bodies ready? You know, it's clearly a long process. We don't just get pregnant one day and deliver the next. There's a whole lot involved. So there's lots of things in the book that really support mama through that whole process from beginning to end, if you will, and then beyond, because as you know, beyond pregnancy, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. There's physical stuff that happens. There is emotional stuff that happens. And the beauty about these oils, like I said, is they come in varying formats. The roller bottles are awesome. They're pre-diluted. You can grab and go. The oils themselves are great. You can throw them in a diffuser and you can still get that into your system without the worry of, I've just put it on my skin and now it's in my body. Either way, because you're still affecting that system one way or another. You're either absorbing it through your skin and it's going into your body, or you're inhaling it and it's going through aromatically.
Yeah. And that's fantastic. And it's a safe way. So a lot of the times we don't want to be utilizing things like a Lysol or an air freshener or Glade. When the new babies arrive, we don't want them to be exposing them to the chemicals. So if it's something that you and the baby kind of would benefit from, maybe to help you go to sleep, to help with the teething. I have my teething rollers, things like that. You don't necessarily want all the chemicals in your house. And so these are safe products to have around. So you're not really going to freak out whether or not they accidentally grab onto the touch roller. They're probably not going to get the cap off. And if they do, it's like, itty bit's not really going to harm them. Obviously, you know, you don't want to have it like completely overly exposed, but you know that if you have it on yourself, if you have it on your chest and you're nursing or you're feeding them at the bottle, just that smell alone is not going to harm them. Or if you have it diffused in the room, it's not going to be harmful for them. And that's great. It's a great option to have for new moms out there, or even moms of multiples like I am, who kind of always need that relaxation time. So the next thing we want to bring up, Cindy, is what we're going to be offering for the public.
Sure. So next Saturday from, I can't remember the time, I'm sorry.
3 to 5?
3 to 5, sorry. Yes, we are doing a soul blend make and take. So it's a mini class on emotions. And then you'll be able to make your own soul blend. What we really wanted to do is touch upon emotions, teach you a little bit about emotions and sort of the different categories, if you will, and really let the oils speak to them. It's fine. I can make a blend for anybody, but I'm really passionate about letting people sort of let their bodies energetically drive them to what is going to work for them. And I find that if you're sitting there and you're smelling, 5 different bottles, there are going to be oils that speak to you, if you will. And there's some reason energetically that your body's like, hey, I'm craving this, just like when we crave chocolate or salt or crunch or what have you. So we are going to do a soul blend. You'll be able to walk out. You'll be making your own roller bottle like this. You will have a label on it for your own personal soul blend. And you'll get some information and your little roller bottle, and it's a $5 charge. So we're going to have a lot of fun and really just dig down in, and I'll have all my oils there. So we'll really be able to experience all the oils.
That's great. Yeah. So we'll be hosting that at our office, right in the Cochico Mill, 383 Central Avenue, Suite 264. That's again next Saturday, the 11th, from 3 to 5. If you want more information, we'll be posting a ton of information in the link. You can always find it either on the Well-Oiled Educators Facebook page or our Facebook page. We do have that event available, and we hope to see you there. Again, let the oils speak to you. Come on in and try them out. Learn a little bit more about maybe what can help you on an individual level. We want it to be able to be personable for you because not everybody fits into the same box. And we really want to be honing in on what your cause and what your need is. So hopefully we can see you then. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Have a great night.